can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in a circle again. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet too slow, the circles down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle again. So the years spin by, and now the boy is 20. Though his dreams
Treasurer, yes.
coming true.
To the President, Chief of Staff, and to the President.
New dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle again. And go round and round and round in the circle again.
Is this the little boy at play?
I don't remember growing older. When did they?
When did she get to be a beauty? When did he grow to be so tall?
Wasn't it yesterday when they were small?
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years. One season following another, laden with happiness and tears. What were wisdom can I give them? How can I help to ease their way?
Now they must learn from one another, day by day.
They look so natural together,
just like two newlyweds should be.
Is there a canopy in store for me?
Although you see the world different than me, sometimes I can touch upon the wonders that you see, and all the new colors and pictures you've designed. Oh, yes, sweet darling, so glad you are a child of mine, child of mine, child of mine. Oh, yes, sweet darling, so glad you are a child of mine. You don't need direction, you know which way to go, and I don't wanna hold you back, I just wanna watch you grow. You're the one who taught me you don't have to look behind. Oh, yes, sweet darling, so glad you are a child of mine, child of mine, child of mine. Oh, yes, sweet darling, so glad you are a child of child of mine. Oh, yes, sweet darling, so glad you are a child of mine. Child of mine, child of mine. Oh, yes, sweet darling, so glad you are a child of mine.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you long
May
life.
the Lord fulfill our Sabbath prayer for you. May God make you good mothers and
May He
wives.
send you husbands who will care for you.
Maybe more than just the five of us. You still haven't put everything with his imaginations. All the these things outside. Because I think kids are coming in. And we also, the kids coming in marching in. I don't know. I'm now looking straight ahead for a kind of picture. I'm looking at it from my left. He said she was
Don't be shy. Get up and do your stuff. Do it, baby, yeah.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. It is so wonderful to see all of you. Is there anyone who has questions about the instructions that I put in the chat box? Everybody can see the screen, and if you have it on speaker mode, then as each of our students are presenting, you will be able to see what they are sharing. So, Ruchim Habaim, welcome. This is such an exciting moment in the lives of our Kitah Zayin 7th graders and for Blanche Bear Religious School and CBI as a whole. Like everything else, it is not at all the way we expected it to be, but here we are together. So, all right, I understand the music is still going, is that correct? On the carousel. All right. Is that better? Okay, music is off. All right, good. Bruchim Habayim, welcome. This is not how we anticipated ending our year for Kitah Zayin and their experience in Blanchard Religious School, but we are delighted to be here all together. And I am so glad that we have generations and generations here on our screen. So I am going to pass the mic, as it were, to Rabbi Resnick to share some words with us.
Thank you, Rabbi Julie, and I like to welcome our new rabbi, Rabbi Eisenberg, who is joining us this evening. So welcome. And the last song we listened to on the music was May God Protect Us and Bring Us Joy and Happiness. And I can't help but to think the official name of tonight is Kitah Zayin, Celebration of Learning. And it's a joy and happiness amongst all the families. It is not a graduation, I am told. It is a celebration of learning, and hopefully everybody will continue learning into the future. There's a great saying that I like to share from Tanakh, Zehayom asa Adonai nagila v'nispecha bo. This is the day that God has made, and we should be happy and rejoice in it. When I first started last August, people said, oh, Kitah Zayin, it's a large class, but a lot of people after their bar and bat mitzvah will kind of peter out. And I want to say, we just did not see that. So I want to give a lot of credit to the, I think 14, Rabbi Julie, presenting tonight, which is really a phenomenal number of people. I'm going to say parents and children who have made it their priority to come and study Torah twice a week at CBI, even with all the other plethora of activities that children and parents are involved with. I remember asking the class one time, give me your honest opinion of coming to Hebrew school. And one person said, well, it's really not so bad, but I'd rather be home doing my homework. And that was a stress. But to all of you, kol kavod, a great shout out to all of you that you made this happen. And as Rabbi Julie said, it's great to see multiple generations here. It's also good to see a lot of COVID-19 beards, which did not exist a few months ago. So I don't know if it's COVID-19 or Sphira. You could choose. And we're going to end with a blessing that I'm told is used every beginning of every Hebrew school day. So hopefully the children or teens who are here will know this, of thanking God for us being able to study Torah. So we have it on the screen now. And I know you're all muted. I understand that. But if we can say it in Hebrew and then in English together, that'd be great. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified us with commandments and commanded us to study words of Torah. And the next hour or so, we're going to hear great words of Torah from our wonderful students. Enjoy.
Thank you. We invite Cantor Wallach to lead us in the Shehechianu, because we are truly grateful to be here together on this day.
Absolutely. It's wonderful that we have, Judaism has so many blessings for all different occasions, but this is a very special blessing for a very special occasion. And we say this blessing to show our gratitude that we have reached this point in your lives and our lives, and for your families who are here, grandparents. We're all so thrilled to see you reach this time in your lives, and we sing together this very beautiful bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen. Mazel tov.
Thank you, and we're going to invite our synagogue president, Mariella Marcellus-Dibner, to share a few words with us as well.
Yes, hi everybody. I just wanted to warmly welcome everybody, from their students to their parents to their grandparents and extended family, for joining us today on what is not only a unique but bittersweet celebration of learning. It's, you know, maybe a little bitter because it's not what we had anticipated, not what we wanted, but so sweet because we're so proud of these students, not only everything that they've learned, but also the wonderful human beings that they're becoming, the true mensches that we can really hold our heads up and be proud of. And students, you know, I've known all of you for so many years, and I think maybe all of you can remember that having a bittersweet celebration of learning is very much in keeping with our Jewish tradition. I don't know how many of you remember from your Dalet year, the wedding that you all experienced together and the breaking of the glass. But this is, you know, very much in keeping. We remember the good and the bad together because they're part of a Jewish life. And to all of you, I say congratulations for getting to this milestone in your Jewish education, and we're looking forward to you continuing in your education, whether through Tihon, eventually being Madrihim, participating in Better Together, and all the wonderful offerings that CBI has for you as you progress as teenagers in our congregation. Mazel tov.
Thank you, Mariella. Our students traditionally have prepared a trifold poster that has been displayed for you to go and look at. And since that did not happen this year, we invited each of them to create a short digital presentation on any topic related to Judaism or Israel that appealed to them. We also have a number of awards to share with our students tonight. So we are going to intersperse a few presentations and then an award, and a few presentations and an award. We are going to begin with Spencer Jasenover. So Spencer, you should be able to just go ahead and share.
All right. Should I present first or should I talk?
So you had a few words you wanted to share first, and then you can go right into your presentation.
All right. My name is Spencer Jasenover, and I am a student at BBRS Hebrew School. And I just wanted to mention a few things. One of them would be my favorite moment, in memories from this long time that I've been going to Hebrew school. And a couple that really stick out in my mind that I think back on a lot and remember is, other than all of the friends that I've made throughout these years, but also some fun things that have been traditions the entire class, so the entire time I've been here, such as like the Purim Carnival and the wedding. And also how this Hebrew school has shaped me into a better person. Especially this following year, we have been getting prepared for the bar and bat mitzvahs, and it's really taught me how to be a better person, a mensch, and I just want to acknowledge that. And that goes into my presentations about bar and bat mitzvahs. Let's get it ready. Can you all see it?
It says you have started, but it hasn't come up. There we go.
All right. Second, it's loading. Hello. My presentation is about bar and bat mitzvahs. First of all, I wanted to say, what are bar, bat, and b'nai mitzvahs? Well, bar mitzvah means son or daughter of commandments in Hebrew. It is either a celebration ceremony or both, celebrating a Jewish boy or girl turning 13 or a Jewish girl turning 12, or twins or siblings turning 12 or 13, and getting all of the obligations and responsibilities of becoming a Jewish adult. Some of these responsibilities are fasting on Yom Kippur and participating in a minyan. They are celebrated with a party, a trip, or maybe just a nice dinner. Now, why are bar, bat, b'nai mitzvahs important? They are important because it is when a Jewish child has reached a level of physical, intellectual, and spiritual maturation where he can begin to observe the commandments in a serious and personally defining way. This development opens a new chapter in a Jewish child's life, encouraging them to be more involved with Judaism. Now, there are many different types of bar and bat mitzvahs. There are different types. A bar mitzvah is when a Jewish boy when he turns 13, a bat mitzvah is when a Jewish girl turns 12, and a b'nai mitzvah is for siblings when they turn 12 or 13. But there is also congregational, independent, and culture/value-based bar bat mitzvahs. A congregational one is the student symbolically reveals Jewish life skills by chanting from the Torah scroll and then offering an inspiring interpretation of the weekly Torah portion during a religious service. An independent bar mitzvah is when almost half of the b'nai mitzvah are being undertaken independently rather than in conjunction with an existing Jewish institution or organization. And finally, a culture/value-based one is when a student selects a topic of interest to study in depth and then lead a morning or afternoon intensive session on the topic that is attended by members of the community. People who do this are usually not very religious. Finally, how are they celebrated? Bar, bat, b'nai mitzvahs are usually celebrated with a party. People usually invite their good friends and family. Sometimes people celebrate with a nice trip to Israel or a dream vacation, or a nice dinner with lots of family and close friends. These parties usually have lots of food, music, and merchandise given out. Some people might have to do them online via Zoom or Google Meet because they cannot meet together due to the coronavirus. And that's all, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something from my presentation.
Thank you, Spencer. And this is how we applaud on Zoom, right? We do our jazz hands so everyone can see it. All right. Thank you. Eliana Biller is next. And Eliana, you should be able to go ahead and share directly. Remember to unmute when you're ready, Eliana.
All right, we'll be with you in 5 minutes. We just gotta, not 5 minutes, 2 minutes. We just gotta close Zoom and then open it up again.
All right, Zach, are you ready if we go on to Zach Glatt next?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Well, we can try. We'll see what happens. Share. Oh, there it is.
Wait, hold on. We have Eliana. So Eliana, are you ready?
No. You. Okay.
All right. So the project that I did was the Dead Sea, and the Dead Sea is located in the eastern part of Israel. The Dead Sea is Dad. Okay. The Dead Sea is located in the eastern part of Israel. The Dead Sea is directly west of Jordan. The Dead Sea got its name because Since there's so much salt in the water, nothing is able to live in the Dead Sea. In fact, the Dead Sea is the world's saltiest body of water. The salinity of the Dead Sea is 33.7%. The salinity of the ocean is only 3.5%. The mud at the Dead Sea has a lot of minerals in it that are good for your skin. Ahava is a skincare brand that uses Dead Sea mud in its products. The Dead Sea Scrolls were found in a cave on the western shore of the Dead Sea from 1946 through 1956. They were thought to be ancient Jewish scriptures that were written in Hebrew. However, after a lot of research, scientists discovered that the scrolls were fake Jewish scriptures. The Dead Sea is a very popular tourist attraction. 3.6 million people visit the Dead Sea every year. Unfortunately, the Dead Sea is currently closed off to visitors due to COVID-19. Some fun facts about the Dead Sea is that the surface of the Dead Sea is 1,388 feet below sea level, which makes it the lowest point on Earth. The Dead Sea is part of the Great Rift Valley. The Dead Sea is over 3 million years old, and people are able to float in the Dead Sea due to the amount of salt. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Eliana.
And then my favorite part about my favorite activity in Hebrew school over like all the years I've been going have been the all the Purim carnivals. And one way I've grown in Judaism this year is by having my bat mitzvah. I've like grown to appreciate the effort it takes in Judaism, and I've learned how to connect with the Torah and how Judaism is such a special religion.
Thank you. All right. And next, Zachary Glatt.
Hello. I am Zachary Glatt, and sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. And my favorite memory from Hebrew school is when we had the wedding, and I'd say for how much I've grown, when I started Hebrew school, I wasn't even able to say Todah, and now I can kind of speak Hebrew a little bit fluently. I can like enough to order food in Israel, or like buy something, or like kind of ask someone how they're doing, which I just find something very cool to do.
And what else?
And read Torah. I'm having trouble sharing content because it won't let me show my screen because of something my mom did.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did. You changed.
Go like this.
Wait, oh, my sister just kicked me out.
Zach, are you going to be able to do it? Should we go on to Alyssa and come back to you and give you a chance to fix it?
Yeah.
All right. Alyssa Ben Bassett, are you ready to present? And then we will come back to that. Okay.
So my name's Alyssa Ben Bassett, and I'm a student at BBRS Hebrew School. And my favorite memory from Hebrew School is all the Purim carnivals, like Eliana said. And one way I've grown in Judaism is studying for my bat mitzvah, which hopefully will happen in November, but probably not due to COVID. and here's my presentation. It's about Steven Spielberg. Okay. Okay, meet one of the greatest movie directors of all time. Steven Spielberg was born in Cincinnati, Ohio on December 18, 1946. Steven spent most of his time in Arizona when he was a kid, although he was always moving. In 2015, he won the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest civilian honor. Here's a picture of Steven's family. Okay, accomplishments. Steven Spielberg has been nominated for 17 Oscars, and of them, he has won 3. Some of his most famous movies are Indiana Jones, Jaws, Saving Private Ryan, E.T., Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, and Ready Player One. Giving back to the community. Not only is Steven Spielberg a great director, but he is also active in Judaism. For example, he has his own section in the National Holocaust Museum. It's called the Shoah Program. He recorded Holocaust survivor stories so that people wouldn't think that the Holocaust never happened. He also generously donates to 16 different charities. He donated some of the profits that he got from Schindler's List to the Righteous Persons Foundation. Thank you for watching.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. Zach, are you ready, or do you want us to come back to you in a little bit?
I shared the presentation with you. Is it possible for you to put it up?
So you need to send it, you need to make sure that the link is viewable by anyone with the link, and then put the link in the chat box.
Wait, let's Zach just try it. Wait, just try what we just did. There,
oh,
it's right there.
I have it up. Can everyone see?
Yes, good to go.
So, Surfing in Israel by me. Why would I choose to do surfing in Israel? I love to surf. It's what I'm most passionate about. I have been lucky enough to surf in Tel Aviv. Here's a picture of me surfing there. Even though Israel is not a top surfing destination, there are some decent waves there, as you see in the picture. Surfing has been a popular sport in Israel since it arrived in Tel Aviv in the late 1950s. Who brought surfing to Israel? Dorian Paskowitz. When? In 1956. What? Brought first surfboard to Tel Aviv before surfing was even introduced to Europe. What are the best places to surf in Israel? The best place is Hilton Beach in Tel Aviv. The Hilton is a popular destination for surf because they have a combination of reefs and jetties that form very good waves for experts and beginners. There are other places to surf in Israel that have almost as good a wave. Meravi Beach, Arobot Beach, Bat Galim Beach. These places don't have as good a wave as the Hilton, but they provide a decent enough wave for surfing. Winter surfing, anyone? In Israel, there is a warm enough climate to surf all year round. During the winter is the best time for experienced surfers in Israel because very big waves come in, as you see in the picture, as big as 10 feet, creating a very great surf environment. What to expect while surfing in the Mediterranean Sea? You won't see any abnormal sea life, only fish. Saltier than most seas, so don't go in there if you have a cut. A lot of tourists. Be aware when you're surfing there because you don't want to hit any tourists. Shallow water, make sure to go out where it's deep so you don't hit your surfboard into the shallow water. Good waves in the right spot. You have to look around, but if you find the right spot, you can find good waves. Hope to see you next year surfing on the Med. Any questions, anyone?
All right, thank you, Zach. So if you will stop sharing. Beautiful. And I will share my screen again. And that brings us to our first award for the evening. We invite Allie Greenstein, our Kadima and USY advisor, to present the Kadima Award.
Hi. Sorry. First of all, mazel tov to all of the graduates today. As Rabbi Julie said, I'm the Kadima and USY advisor at Congregation B'nai Israel. In the 13 years, I think it's been 13 years, that I've been at Congregation B'nai Israel, I have seen very few classes that are as close as you guys are. So it's been wonderful getting to know you all. And the Kadima Award is for active participation in Kadima events and showing leadership potential for youth group. And with the award, you guys are the recipients will receive a free dues for 8th grade next year. I hope to see all of you at our events, hopefully in person. And the awards this year go to Eliana Biller and Zach Glass.
So mazal tov, kol hakavod to them. Very nice. And we're going to continue with You're very welcome. Well deserved. We're going to continue with some more presentations. Henry, you are up next.
Hello, my name is Henry Myler. My favorite memory is probably a tie between all the field trips we've taken and being the groom in the wedding. And I've grown by being better in public speaking with my own bar mitzvah. All right, just go inside. Try. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. It's gonna take 1 second. Oh, no, I gotta leave, of course. All right, can I be right back?
Yes, should we go on and come back to you?
Yes, I'm sorry.
All right. Samantha Wright or Sammy, are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, Henriette, it's here. You are here, yes.
All right, how do I get this out of the way? All right, Mel Brooks. Melvin Kaminsky, or Mel Brooks, is a famous Jewish-American director, producer, screenwriter, and
Wait a sec, wait, it didn't actually show up yet.
Right, it hasn't come up yet.
Where? Okay, coming. It's gonna take a sec.
Sorry, I don't know what is happening.
So it looks like you shared the whiteboard.
Oh.
All right, you should be able to choose which thing you're sharing. There you go.
All right, Melvin Kaminsky, or Mel Brooks, is a famous Jewish-American director, producer, screenwriter, and actor. He was born on June 28, 1926. He is now 93 years old. He was born in Brooklyn, New York. Mel was raised in a Jewish household in Brooklyn with his mother Kate and his 3 older brothers Lenny, Irving, and Bernie. His father had died due to kidney disease and Mel was only 2. Mel was also bullied in school for being scrawny. Mel graduated high school and became an accomplished mimic, pianist, and drummer. Mel served as a combat engineer in Europe during World War II. After his service, he became a professional entertainer and worked as a stand-up comic. In 1949, Brooks joined the writing team for the Admiral of Broadway Revue, a show starring Sid Caesar. Mel remained with Sid until 1958. Mel won an Emmy Award for being a co-writer on the variety show, The Sid Caesar, I don't know how to pronounce that, Carolina Howard Moore Special. Mel also collaborated on the librettos for the musicals Jimbo and Alley and All American from 1957 to 1962. Mel Brooks starred performing in 1960 with the 2,000-Year-Old Man. Mel Brooks wrote and narrated The Critic and won an Academy Award for The Critic. He then went on to create Get Smart with Buck Henry, a show dedicated to spoofing the spy genre. The founder of Brooks Films, Mel goes on to be the executive producer of these films, The Elephant Man, Francis, and 84 Charing Crossroad. He also starred on To Be or Not to Be, made regular appearances on Mad About You, won an Emmy for his spoken comedy album, The 2,000-Year-Old Man, in the year 2000, and was on various other TV shows and films, with the latest being on Hotel Transylvania series and playing Melvin Brooks in Toy Story 4. Mel went on to direct movies for decades. Mel Brooks directed Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Silent Movie, and High Anxiety. Mel starred in Silent Movie as a director who persuades a major motion studio to create a silent film, and he stars in High Anxiety as a psychiatrist who has to work in an institute for the very, very nervous. Mel Brooks directed History of the World Part 1, Spaceball, and Spaceballs. Mel starred in Spaceballs, playing the roles of Yogurt and President Screw. Mel Brooks also directed Life Stinks, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, and Dracula Dead and Loving It. A lot of Mel Brooks movies were spoofs of other movies, like Spaceballs is the sci-fi genre, Blazing Saddles is the western genre. Mel Brooks has gone to do so much more. He has also stated, "You know where my comedy comes from? It comes from not being kissed by a girl until you're 16. It comes from a feeling that as a Jew and as a person, you don't fit into the mainstream of American society. It comes from the realization that even though you're better and smarter, you'll never belong." Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Thank you, Henry. All right, and we'll pass it right to Sammy Ryder.
Hi. So my favorite part of Hebrew school was the Purim carnivals and always dressing up because it was really fun to me. And I have grown in Judaism by just being in Hebrew school and learning everything that I know now. Sorry. Mount Masada. History of Mount Masada. Herod the Great built 10 palaces just for himself on top of the mountain. He fortified Masada between 37 and 31 BCE. According to Josephus, the siege of Masada by Roman troops from 73 to 74 CE at the end of the First Jewish-Roman War ended in the mass suicide of the 960 Caesarea rebels who were hiding there. How does Mount Masada relate to Israel? Well, lots of people think that Mount Masada is a tourist attraction. Not only do people get to climb up the mountain or take the cable car, they get to learn the history about it. It's not letting me move slides.
You might have to click on the right side.
Okay. Why am I talking to you about Mount Masada? This year, as a part of my bat mitzvah, I went to Israel with my family. We visited Jerusalem, where I was bat mitzvah at Robinson's Arch. After that, we went to Golan Heights, and finally we finished in Tel Aviv. Since I went to Israel and the day I went to Mount Masada was my favorite day, I wanted to do a project about it. And here are some pictures of the views from Mount Masada. And thank you for watching.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sammy. And next is Milo Weiss. Okay, Milo, remember to unmute.
Hi, I'm
always, and my project is Israel's video game influence. There will be some images of some games on the final slide. History of video games in Israel. The golden age of Israeli video games was the 90s. One of the first games in Israel was a point-and-click game called Armed and Delirious, made in 1997. Many games were made for child's edutainment, which is education and entertainment combined. Some games are made to promote children's food products. Some of the main games-making companies are Machshevet, Guillotine, and Plarium Games. Some of the games made are Buck, Coinmaster, Jane ZIF, Play 65, Raid Shadow Legends, The Splatters, Temporal, and Virus the Game, just to name a few. Posh. This is one of the most popular Israeli video games for its comedy. This was made by the company Guillotine and is a point-and-click adventure game. It was released in 1999, but the English version was released in 2002. But they made a sequel in 2000. Guillotine has recently been making a reboot of the game, with the demo being released in 2019 and Part 1 released this year. Thank you for your time.
Milo, did you want to share with us some of your thoughts about BBRS?
Oh yeah. So, one of my favorite moments in BBRS was making our video with more Mike about the 10 plagues, because of how funny it ended up being. And then this year I've grown personally through my bar mitzvah, which was my first time reading something as difficult as reading the Torah.
All right, thank you. So raise your hand if you feel old because you had not heard of any of those video games. That. All right, Kiala Goldberg.
Hi. Wait, how do you screen share?
Down at the bottom, there's a green box that says share screen. And when you click on that, it should show you options for what you want to share.
It could be at the top too.
So, wait, we're having some trouble.
What device are you using, Kiala?
Chromebook.
A Chromebook. Okay, so it is possible that Chromebook might not let you share screen. Do you not see the share screen? It is possible Chromebook might not let you share screen. Do you not share screen?
Oh, it just doesn't allow you to share my dough. Wait, though. Can you see my screen?
It's coming up. Yep. All right. Did you want to share some thoughts about BBRS as it's getting ready?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, my name is Kiala Goldberg. I spent almost my entire life going to this Hebrew school. One of my favorite memories would have to be the Purim Carnival. One way I've grown as a Jewish woman is by having my bat mitzvah. Thanks to the congregation, I was able to be bat mitzvahed, surrounded by my amazing friends and family. My project is about one of my favorite Jewish foods I've been eating my entire life, babka. Babka is a Jewish food that's truly amazing. Wait, can you see it? So, my presentation's on babka. Babka is a sweet braided bread or cake of Central European Ashkenazi Jewish origin, popular in Poland, United States, and Israel.
So, Kiala, we can hear you, but we can't see your screen yet. Are you seeing it at home?
Yeah, I see it. But is it still loading?
I'm not sure. Do you want to try and stop screen share and then try it again?
Okay. Is it working? Can you see it?
No, it looks like it's trying to, but it's still black. Do you want to try and go to the next slide and let's see if that one loads?
Uh-huh. Should I just read it?
All right, so everybody, picture in your mind the most beautiful loaf of babka that you have ever seen. And now picture another one, and Kiala is going to go ahead and share her presentation with you.
So, babka by Kiala Goldberg. Babka is a sweet braided bread or cake of Central European Ashkenazi Jewish origin, popular in Poland, United States, and Israel. For the ingredients, you need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, dough, 1/3 of a cup and 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of fine sea salt, 1 cup of whole milk, 1 packet of dry active yeast, 1 large egg and 1 large egg yolk, a stick of butter and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. How to make it. First, you have to make the dough. Then you have to line a large baking sheet with parchment paper and coat the paper generously with non-stick baking spray. Scrape the dough onto the parchment paper and cut the dough in half. Pat each piece into a neat square, cut and cover the plastic wrap and refrigerate overnight. Then you have to make the filling. Then you coat 2 9x4-inch loaf pans with non-stick baking spray and line the parchment paper, allowing 2 inches of overhang on each of the long sides. Then you use a sharp knife and you cut the logs in half crosswise. Using an offset spatula, spread 1/4 of the cup of reserved filling on the top and sides of 2 halves. Then you cover the loaves with a towel and let it stand in a warm place until doubled in bulk for about 2 hours. Then you preheat the oven to 375 degrees and bake the loaves in the center of the oven for about 45 minutes until puffed and well browned. Then, in a heat-proof bowl, over a saucepan of simmering water, melt both chocolates with butter and stir until smooth. Stir in the corn syrup and spread the glaze on top of the warm babka and let it stand for about 30 minutes. And then voila, you have babka. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Kiala. Kiala, I'll invite you and everybody else to send me your presentations, and we'll be happy to share them so that everyone has a chance to see them again. And thanks, Zach. That's nice. I have a yummy picture in my mind, too. We're going to move on to the presentation of our Men's Club Award, and I'm going to invite Alex Marcus, co-president of Men's Club, to present.
Hello, everybody. On behalf of my co-president, Jonathan Shore, the Men's Club Board, and the whole Men's Club, I want to extend our congratulations to all the graduates and their families. As a graduate of CBI's Hebrew School myself, and the parent of a graduate, it gives me great pleasure to be here, even remotely from my office here. The Men's Club Award is the Mensch Award. As we've been studying during this season, we learned in Pirkei Avot, chapter 4, pasuk 17, Rabbi Shimon used to say, there are 3 crowns: the crown of Torah, the crown of priesthood, the crown of kingship, but the crown of a good name surpasses them all. A mensch is someone who has made a good name for themselves. For this award, the recipients are regular attendees and participants, genuinely kind, and work to create a congenial environment. And while this is true for many of the class, this year's award goes to Milo Weiss and Henry Myler. Congratulations to everybody.
Thank you, Alex, and Mazal Tov to both of you. We are going to go on to our next group of presentations, beginning with Alana Manny.
1 second.
Alana, how are you doing? Would you like us to come back to you?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Rebecca Merkel, are you ready?
Yeah.
Rebecca, you have some feedback.
She doesn't have a. It's on my computer.
Rebecca, we're having a little trouble with your audio.
I don't know.
All right.
Hello?
That's much better. Rebecca, are you ready?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
All right. I am still having audio difficulty. Okay. Rebecca, I think if you can stop, maybe we'll have you stop sharing and then we'll go out again. Alana, are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, then it is yours.
But, hi, my name is Alana Manny. My favorite memory from Hebrew school is when we went on our ShopRite field trip, and I've grown this year through Judaism by learning prayers and my Haftorah for my B'nai Mitzvah. Hold on. Okay, oh, it's not. Oh no, it was working before.
Go back to mute this one.
No, it's not showing. If we know like, that it?
Sure.
Wow.
Oh, you just want to see the video.
Yeah, it doesn't show my.
If you show Safari, you
No, but we don't know what to do.
get on the iPad.
Okay. I don't know.
You want to skip us one more time?
Wait.
No.
Remember it said it was denied? Okay, yeah, I'm not sure why it's not working. Hold on. Okay, you can just get me and we'll come back.
All right, Rebecca, do you want to try it again?
I can try again, but not sure how well that's gonna go, but try. Let's see if this works this time. Is this working?
Better, yes.
Okay. My project was on the Jewish Mafia. So the Jewish Mafia, what is it? The Jewish Mafia, sometimes referred to as the Jewish Mob or the Kosher Mafia, is a Jewish American organized crime group that was funded by Arnold Rothstein in the late 19th century. It is still active today and continues to be involved with a variety of crimes, which include but are not limited to murder, racketeering, narcotics distribution, and bootlegging. Jewish Mafia and anti-Semitism. Anti-Semites, people who have hostile, prejudiced attitude towards Jews, have often used the Jewish Mafia as a way to provide justification and bring moral high ground to further their cause. This issue has been acknowledged by the Jewish community and continues to be a cause of great concern, as it undermines their ideals, beliefs, and traditions that the religion is based on. A recognizable example of their beliefs being sabotaged is "Thou shalt not steal." As a primary tenet of the religion, this should be indication enough that Jewish people are not all evil/bad. This is evidence that helps to show the Jewish population's innocence and virtuous ideals. Famous mobsters. Meyer Lansky, who was closely associated with the Jewish Mafia and had a large gambling business. Around the time he fled to Cuba, he was worth $20 million, which, adjusted for inflation, would be approximately $193 million in 2019. Mickey Cohen. He was sent to Alcatraz in 1961 for tax evasion. He gained additional notoriety by being the first and only Alcatraz prisoner to be bailed out. His appeals ultimately failed and he landed back behind bars. Dutch Schultz. He died at the age of 33 after being shot. And Bugsy Siegel was known as one of the most feared gangsters of his day. And then here are pictures of the mobsters that I just mentioned. That's kind of it.
All right, thank you. Good. Alana.
Wait. You can't share it on here. Oh, no. Website. I don't know. I think let me try on the computer. You can't share it on my because it's not working on there. Maybe get me and then come back.
Okay, Alana, you want to try it again after Jacob? We will go to Jacob Warner.
You gotta put on slideshow. Yeah, I know. Okay, well, first I'll start with my memories. My best memories are the Maccabee games from Hebrew school, and I think I've evolved most because I've learned how to read Torah and read Haftorah and get better at those skills. And all right, we'll start my presentation. Falafel. Origin of falafel. Falafel originated in Egypt about 1,000 years ago. It's a very popular dish in the Middle East and especially Israel. Ingredients in falafel. The main ingredients in falafel is fava beans or chickpea. Many other ingredients included in the recipe, such as onions, scallions, spices like parsley, garlic, cumin, and coriander. How to make falafel. First, you soak the chickpea, then make the mixture and ground everything together, form balls or patties, and then fry. Different ways to eat falafel. There are many ways to eat falafel and many toppings to put on. You could eat falafel in pita bread or just normally. I prefer in pita. Popular toppings are tahini sauce, hummus, pickled red onions, and much more. Best place to eat falafel. From my experience, the best falafel is in Jerusalem. Near the Western Wall, there's a building called the H Building. If you go up the steps and behind the building, you will find the best falafel ever. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. All right. Alana, are we go?
Sorry, we're having difficulty pulling it up from a Mac or the iPad for some reason. Obviously, well, if you want, she could just say it, and unless you are able to pull it up, Rabbi Julie.
Oh, wait. Nope, we had something for a moment.
Oh, that's just a whiteboard.
It doesn't say like, is this? Is it this
Click
one?
on Safari.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what that is.
Okay, so are you pulling it up on the same device that you have Zoom open on?
Yes, we've tried 2 devices. We've tried the iPad and the Mac.
All right, so Jared is presenting after our next award, so maybe we'll go on to the award and then hopefully we can get Jared and Alana to be able to share back to back. Should we do that? Okay. All right, we are going to invite Jennifer Glick, our co-president of Sisterhood, to present our Sisterhood Award.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you for inviting us to be a part of this tonight. We are really enjoying it. Do I need to press something?
Nope, you do not.
Okay, great. Thank you. On behalf of myself, my co-chairperson, Sharon Richmond, and the rest of the Sisterhood Board, we're very happy to be able to present the Hesed Award to a student who continuously exhibits kindness and caring for others within CBI and in the greater Jewish and world communities. I just want to say on a personal note at first that, you know, I was excited to be here and to give out the award, but I have enjoyed every presentation. Your topics are fascinating. They show a lot of enthusiasm. I am learning so much. I can't wait tomorrow to start making babka at home and then to have homemade falafel on. So thank you for giving me some ideas. The student today has shown themselves to be a leader in seeking to show kindness within BBRS and to perform mitzvot outside of BBRS. In this case, the student has also been a regular attendee at Evening Minyan as a way to support the community. Well, I know many of you would fit into this category. We had to choose one person, and it is Rebecca Merkel. We're very, very happy for Rebecca, and please accept this award from us.
Mazal tov. Okay, thank you. We're going to go back to presentations, and Team Manny, we are starting with you if we can.
Okay, we're troubleshooting with Jacob Warner on the phone.
All right, Sarah Dibner, can we go to you and then come back? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, my name is Sarah Dibner. One of my favorite memories from Hebrew school at CBI is probably doing the mock wedding or learning the Torah service in Mora Miriam's class. One way that I've grown this year is having my bat mitzvah. It really helped me because I got a lot more confident in my Hebrew reading skills. And my presentation is on Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is an Israeli actress, and she was the first woman to play a female superhero to hit the big screen. She's also the only female actress to play a female superhero in the DC universe. Why is she important? Gal Gadot inspires many young girls and was like I said before, was the first female to hit the big screen as a superhero. Unlike other Jewish actresses that play superheroes like Scarlett Johansson, she got her solo movie in the year 2017. She also starred in Batman vs. Superman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League, and soon to be Wonder Woman 2, 1989. Here's some random facts about her. She was born on April 30th, 1985. Her name means wave riverbank, which just shows how strong yet important she is to this environment. She was crowned Miss Israel at 18, and she was in the IDF for 2 years, and there she helps train soldiers in the Air Force. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. All right. Jared, Alana, yes? Or you need?
Are we the last ones?
You are not. You are not. We have not heard from Simon yet. So would you like us to?
Simon last. Thank you.
Okay. Simon Richter. We can't hear you, Simon. While Simon's getting ready, if you have not been peeking in the chat box, I will reiterate what Cantor Wallach said, that it's wonderful that for so many of you, the Bar Bat Mitzvah experience this year has been incredibly powerful. And I will agree with her that our plan is for you to continue using those skills throughout your life. So Alana, this looks like your presentation.
Sorry, Simon. But we got it working.
Sorry to the Richter family.
Yeah.
Okay, so my presentation is about Golda Meir. It's not working. Golda Meir's early life. On 1898, May 3rd, Goldie Mavovich was born in Kyiv, Ukraine. In 1906, Goldie was 8 years old when her family immigrated to the United States. In 1916, Goldie Mavovich graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Golda Meir's career. In 1921, Goldie and her husband Mort Meyerson immigrated to Palestine and joined the Merhavia kibbutz. In 1934, during World War II, Goldie emerged as a forceful spokesman for the Zionist cause and negotiating with the British mandatory authorities. In 1946, Goldie Meyerson took over the position of political department of the Jewish Agency. In 1948, Goldie Meyerson helped sign Israel's independence declaration, and that year she was appointed minister to Moscow. In 1949, she was elected to the Israeli parliament and served there until 1974. Golda Meir's name. In 1956, when Goldie was appointed as foreign minister, she decided to change her name to Golda Meir. Golda means gold, and Meir means one who shines in Hebrew. Golda Meir's career as Prime Minister of Israel. In 1969, Golda became the Prime Minister of Israel, and she was the first woman ever to do so. While she was Prime Minister, she pushed for a peace settlement in the Middle East. In 1973, Golda's efforts at forging peace with the Arab states was stopped by the outbreak of the Yom Kippur War. In 1974, after 5 years, Golda Meir resigned as prime minister. In 1978, Golda died on December 8th in Jerusalem after battling leukemia for 12 years. Here are some of Golda Meir's famous quotes. Why is it not loading? Okay, a leader who doesn't hesitate before he sends his nation into battle is not fit to be a leader. Whether women are better than men, I cannot say, but I can say they are certainly no worse. We Jews have a secret weapon in our war with the Arabs. We have nowhere else to go. We have to fight. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Alana. All right, Jared, are you ready, or shall we?
Not yet.
Shall we go on to the next award and then come back to you? Okay. All right. So we invite Rachel Manny, who is the chair of our Parents Association, to present the award from the Parents Association.
Thank you. So congratulations to all the families and all the students who are graduating tonight, including my two children. This award is being presented on behalf of the Parents Association, the BBRS Parents Association. And the name of the award is the Chokmah Award, which I now know after looking it up this afternoon. Is a biblical Hebrew word for wisdom. So this award is going to recognize two students for their knowledge and achievement at BBRS, including their regular participation in class and their contributions to lively discussions. I have had the honor of knowing these two wonderful students since they were 3 years old, and we were all in preschool together. They are very deserving of this Chokmah Award. So it's my honor and privilege on behalf of the BBRS PA to give this award to Simon Richter and Sarah Dibner. Congratulations.
Very nice. Thank you. Simon, are you ready to present now? All right.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So before I begin, I'd like to say some words. So my favorite memory of all of Hebrew school was probably the first time that Maura and Mike showed us a "What Would You Do" video. It really showed me how hard it really is to be a good person, and how it seems so easy, but it's not really a common thing, and it really taught you about the values of that. And I've grown as a person now in Hebrew school because I've learned a lot more about Judaism as a whole. I've learned about religious ceremonies and ways to be a Jew, ways to celebrate, and yeah. Okay, so let's see. Is it showing? Okay, great. So, Argan Ben Israel. I decided to do this because recently I've been wanting to get more into cooking lately. It's never really been something that I've gone into as a topic. I've kind of avoided it, but I wanted to try experimenting it now. And yeah, so here's my topic. So, who is Ron Ben Israel? Ron Ben Israel is a well-known and well-respected pastry chef. His career as a pastry chef started in 1996 when his cakes were noticed by Villeroy and Bach, Baccarat, De Beers, Bloomingdale's, and Bergdorf Goodman. Also, did you know that before he was a pastry chef, Ron Ben Israel used to actually professionally dance, which was his career for 15 years. So what makes him special? Well, Ron Ben Israel was both the host and judge of Food Network's Sweet Genius. He was a judge on Cake Wars and a Halloween Baking Championship. He was both a judge and a guest on other Food Network shows such as Chopped, Guys Grocery Games, and Worst Cooks in America. He even appeared on shows such as Top Chef, Just Desserts, Late Show with David Letterman, and The Oprah Winfrey Show. How did he become a chef? After retiring from being a dancer, Ron Ben Israel decided to master the art of baking. He went to New York City after his apprenticeship in Toronto and Lyon, which is in France. Conclusion. Ron Ben Israel is a baking legend and superstar. He is one to be remembered for his glorious cakes and his appearances on many TV shows. He has shown us that to be successful, you need to act like you mean it. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Jared Manny.
My name is Jared Manny, and one way I've grown this year is for preparing for my bar mitzvah. I've learned I have Torah, and I'm preparing the Musaf service. So that's one way I've grown, and my favorite memory of BBRS is making videos in more of my class. Yeah, so I'm gonna put it in, I think, if it works. Okay. My trip to Israel. One of the places that I went to on my trip was Masada. Masada is an ancient fortress in southern Israel's Judean desert. It's on a massive plateau overlooking the Dead Sea. On Masada, Jews killed themselves because they knew that the Romans were coming and they didn't want to fall into Roman control. Old City of Jerusalem. On the trip, we went to Jerusalem and we saw the Old City of Jerusalem. We walked through the Jaffa Gate, we walked on the Ramparts Wall, and we saw ancient ruins. Western Wall and Western Wall tunnels. In the Old City of Jerusalem, we went to the Western Wall. At the Western Wall, it was split up into two sections, male and female. My dad and I each put a prayer into a note and stuck into the wall. It was very inspirational. After, we went through some of the Western Wall tunnels. Tel Aviv. We spent part of our trip in Tel Aviv. In Tel Aviv, we went on a food tasting tour. We saw Jaffa, we saw the Shalom Tower, and more. We also had a great view of the Mediterranean Sea from our hotel, the Carlton. The breakfast in Tel Aviv was so good. Northern Israel. In the north, we stayed in a hotel on a kibbutz. In the north, we went on an ATV ride. We saw the Golan Heights, and we walked in the Baniat Springs. We also went to Safat, which is a city that is really high up in the mountains. In the north, we also saw bunkers that used to be part of Syria, but now is in Israel. We saw some great views from high up, and we could also see Syria from the distance. Dead Sea/camel riding. On the way to Masada, we stopped in the Dead Sea, and we went camel riding in the Judean desert. We could see the country Jordan from where we were driving. Israeli cuisine. We also ate some really good food in Israel. We had really good hummus, pita, and laffa bread, and falafel. Summary. First, we arrived at David Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv. Then we spent a few days in Tel Aviv. Then we drove up north where we stayed on the kibbutz for a few days. Then we drove back down to Jerusalem, which we stayed in for 5 days. Then we drove back to Ben Gurion Airport to fly home. Both flights were really long, but it was worth it. I can't wait to go back. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Nicely done. So I think it's safe to say that this class has continued to recognize two of the most important parts of being Jewish, the food and Israel. And it's fairly amazing that this class has such a close connection to Israel, but also to each other. And it has just been a tremendous joy for me to get to know them this year. But they have also had an amazing group of teachers supporting them and working with them all year. And I'm going to invite them to share just a few brief words. Rabbi Resnick, would you like to speak first out of order? Because I know we're coming up on 8 o'clock.
The other thing about being Jewish, and that's prayer. So the food pieces today were really mouth-watering, and I look forward to that. So I think the highlight for me, which is what something that you asked us to talk about, was the kind of staying power of this group of people. Again, the dedication of parents and the students. And I remember back in October when I handed out those cards that we did post Yom Kippur, and I asked each of the students to privately, not to share it with other students, but just as a private kind of recognition and a gauge of where they are in their development. 2 things they would really want to get more of in life. And one of them was sleep, because they were all working very hard in school to keep up with the Milburn school system. And which I think a lot of teenagers might say, but 2 was to spend more time with family. That even when they spent time with family, and a lot of you spent a lot of time with family, you wanted even more. And I would say, going back to Rabbi Julie's words, family is another key component of being Jewish. And that is a really reassuring thing for me to take away from the very short year that we had together in CBI. So Yasher Koach and Mazal Tov to all of you.
Thank you. Maura Rachel Levenberg. No, you are still muted, Rachel. Shall we go on to Maura Lisa and come back to you? Maura Lisa Frankel.
Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see all of your smiling faces and be part of this celebration of learning. I was thinking back that many of you I had as Hayes students a few years ago. Maybe you'll remember the prophets that we studied and learned about. And it's 2 years past then. And I just think it's amazing when I look at you, how much you've grown physically and emotionally and intellectually and spiritually. And I've enjoyed my time with you so much. Our classes are always so interesting. Our discussions are filled with insight and humor and great ideas. And I learn from you all the time in our discussions. And I hope you feel that you learned as well. So I just want to say that don't ever stop learning. And I hope to see lots of these faces as Madriach maybe next year, and come back and visit whenever you can. Thanks for a great year.
Thank you. Maura Rachel.
Hi. Good evening, everybody, and congratulations and Yasher Koach to Kitah Zayin. This year, Kitah Zayin has studied modern Jewish history from the shtetls of Eastern Europe to modern Israeli politics. This has been a dedicated and cohort of students who I have enjoyed getting to know. Our final chapter together has also been an intriguing and rewarding challenge, for which I am grateful to both the students and Congregation B'nai Israel. Kadima, let us go forward. Thank you guys for a wonderful year and letting me have the privilege to learn and work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maura Rachel. So as I said, we absolutely could not do this without our teachers. I'm going to invite you to read along with me an interpretation of the Kaddish D'Rabbanan, the blessing for our teachers. This was written by Rabbi Arthur Waskow. Al Yisrael, Ve'al Rabbanan, Ve'al Talmidei Hon, Ve'al Kol Talmidei Hon. For the people Israel and for all who wrestle with God, for our teachers, the rabbis, and for all of our teachers, for their students, ourselves, and for the students of their students, those whom we go forth to teach, for all who study Torah, who aim toward wisdom in this place and in every place. For all these may there be overflowing love, peacefulness within and peace in the world, a healthy and a healing life, an honorable and sufficient livelihood that comes from working with the earth, as part of it, not from it or upon it. And above all, a sense that all these blessings come not from our own efforts only, but from our efforts as part of the great weave of unity. V'nomar, Amen.
Amen.
And we have just a few more things that we need to recognize before we conclude officially tonight. So we have an expectation of attendance at Shabbat services, and for Kitah Zayin, that number is 10 Shabbat services, with no more than 3 of them out of the building or at a synagogue other than CVI. And we are pleased to announce that 9 of our students have met the expectation for Shabbat for this year. And we are even more pleased to recognize the students who actually reached the high level and attended at least, and in some cases significantly more, than 18 Shabbat services. So, Mazal Tov to Milo Weiss, to Simon Richter, and to Sarah Dibner. And with that, it gives me tremendous pleasure to confer upon Kitah Zayin your virtual diplomas as you have satisfactorily completed the prescribed course of studies at Congregation B'nai Israel, Blanche Bear Religious School in this year, 5780. We know this is not the end, and we look forward to seeing all of you together again next year in Tichon and all of the other opportunities that you embrace as CBI teens. So, Mazal Tov and Kol HaKavod to you.
Mazel tov, Siman tov, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Siman tov, Siman tov, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Siman tov, Yehei lanu.
And we now invite Cantor Wallach to bless our students.
So you have all been such a blessing to me personally, to our whole CBI community. And so I want to offer you this blessing as we conclude and as you go forward in your Jewish studies and your Jewish lives. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
So we say Mazal Tov once again. I would be remiss if I did not give thanks to all those who support my work and support the work of Blanche Bear Religious School. So I owe tremendous thanks not only to my amazing teaching staff who has really done an incredible job over the last 2 months as we have pivoted to a whole new way of teaching that we had never imagined. Many thanks to Rabbi Paul Resnick and Cantor Lorna Wallach for unending support in everything I have asked to do. Thank you to the CBI leadership, to Mariella Marcellus Dibner for her support, to my school board chair, David Good, who has been just tremendous in my first year here as he has helped me get acclimated and helped me learn everything that I can. And none of what I do would be possible without our school board and all of the members of that who just go out of their way to make sure that we can provide everything that we want to our students. So I thank you all for participating tonight. I will again invite our former Kitah Zayin students to share your final presentations with me so that we can share them with the congregation and with the community. And I will say again, Mazal Tov to every one of you, students and families. Thank you so much.
Mazel tov, everybody.
Mazel tov, everybody. And I'm going to
tov.
be a little rude and get off to start Mariv in a minute, but really mazel tov to everybody.
Melissa was more nervous than at his bar mitzvah.
Mazel tov, everybody, especially Milo. Okay.